vehicle guy, you know, but I played it on gamepad and mouse. I did academy on the mouse and keyboard, you know. I know.
So you went through the whole driving academy?
As much as I could have, with the mouse and keyboard,
Yeah, it's quite tricky to go through the whole thing, yeah.
But gamepad is way better, you know. I don't know if I'm going to start a debate in the chat, but I personally, I thought it was, more intuitive and all that other stuff. So
I think most of the people in the chat are like super hardcore fans for steering wheels, but there is nothing wrong on playing on keyboard. If you like it, just play the game like the way you like it. I personally prefer gamepad as well.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of more like relaxing, you know. You don't need to like this wheel is super, and it was actually designed with our help especially for games with big vehicles like such our games. But to me, it's kind of feels sometimes overwhelming, so I like the gamepad as well.
Yeah. So this is the first time I'm really using a.
We know you, Chad. We know how you can be hard, especially on me and my driving skills. So this time, be nice, please. You know.
Of course. All right, but if you really need to point out, like you're doing something wrong, then. Oh, you like this shirt? Thank you. I wanted to wear something really nice. Like, I'm gonna be on stream. I gotta make sure I'm representing the company really well.
Thanks.
And everyone in the company, they have really good style. He's walking all black. The signature hat,
I can hook you up.
That's a good plug, right?
I actually like it even more for streams because of the lights.
Okay.
You'll see. So let's hit the road.
Yes.
Let's hit the road and I will kind of.
Kreisverkehr, erste Ausfahrt nehmen.
100%.
Diese Ausfahrt.
So that's why the shirt, I guess.
Yes, Miami. Gotta rep my boys. Oh, hi. Gotta rep my boys over there. If you haven't been to Miami, I recommend do go in the springtime or December. Do not go.
It's too hot?
Oh, extremely hot. That would kill you. But I highly recommend it. My city vibes. 100%.
He's getting ready for GTA 6.
100%. Play GTA 6. It's right in my hometown. Right there.
It's actually true. If you look
at the map, I actually see some notable places. They could use the same names. Right next to my house, where I live, so it's kind of cool. All the places they choose, where all the alligators, all the stores.
Is that actually true? Like,
but not like able. It depends where you are. If you live more north, the Everglades, then it's actually below the Everglades. That's kind of south. Below it, right. It's like an hour drive.
So, but I've seen a few videos like people are just waking up and they have a negative in their food.
But they want it.
That's a normal thing.
Well, people are hot. People are friends. They're going to the pool. They're going this. They're jumping in the river. They get hot. And alligators are really nice. Crocodiles. Those are really cool. 100%. That's now. It's more. Yeah. Because
they have like thin.
Yeah. Or the alligators protruding, like the nostrils protrude outward, and then the crocodiles like more snout snout. But it's the crocodiles are very dangerous. They would kill for sport. The alligators, you can just be running up beside them. They don't really do much. You just go for rope forward. And
they're super slow on the ground.
They're fast. Of course, they're extremely fast in the water, but they will catch up to you. I don't think they're standing the best. But it's really good. I actually recommend
Chad, did you ever try alligators? Like barbecue with alligators? And you were going
Scandinavia. I said, or I had a conversation with people in Scandinavia or something like that. And then we found that there was this only school, like truly English-speaking school, because they speak English in Denmark, but it's not really involved in actual school. So, really, it's just because you're wrong, like, those countries like
Everyone gets
Gut zu finden.
like 90% of the country, they speak English very well, but they don't actually teach like their classes in
so the
English.
classes is still in
Yeah.
in Danish and
Yeah, 100%.
okay,
But they do teach English as like in the States they teach Spanish and
like
whatnot.
here.
Yeah, exactly. But in over there, it was actually an international school, so we had Germans, French, Americans. Oh, I got a red
There
light.
you go. First traffic fine.
I can't see the red light, man. It's but it's okay. We could break a couple of rules. We're on stream, But
See, that's the spirit, Chad.
See,
I'm
that is the
I'm
spirit.
telling you every single street.
Romeo is a great driver. He just wants to make it look the clean.
Exactly. Boom, fuck.
Exactly.
Ich finde eine neue. Okay, lass uns eine neue Route
I've
finden.
been to Europe.
Am Kreisverkehr erste Ausfahrt nehmen. Nimm diese Ausfahrt. Am Kreisverkehr zweite Ausfahrt nehmen. Nimm diese Ausfahrt.
Before in 2019, but this was way before the actual COVID. And I went to England, France, and Spain.
Okay. It's quite a stretch.
Yeah, my mom had fun, And so I lived in Denmark. We lived in some Danes in the chat, but we
Am
lived
Kreisverkehr
near
erste
this
Ausfahrt nehmen.
long street was not to at all, but in the west, like in the countryside.
Nimm diese
And
Ausfahrt.
there I met all these other types of Europeans, and then there was just two Czech guys, right? And then one was like this other Czech guy was kind of cool, but this other one, he was really into games. And we started talking, and then
Kreisverkehr erste Ausfahrt nehmen. Nimm diese Ausfahrt.
you know what? Thank you, Czech. Thank you so much. I don't know what these guys are. But we
Okay, so
started
you met two Czech guys.
we started becoming more friends, and then this guy, he wanted to find someone that would actually that's like breathing to them, you know? And it was just a really awesome experience. And then we became really good friends, and then he invited me to his house and all that stuff. And yeah, it was pretty cool. And over every single year from there on, I've actually been visiting in Prague every single year, so I've been a really good friend, you know? And I've been visiting that, and you know, it's actually the son of Pavel Saber, yes, that I met. I was met.
Kreisverkehr, dritte
Very small
Ausfahrt
world,
wählen.
right? And as a little kid, I always wanted to make video games and produce them, etc., etc. So then, you know, things led to another. I'm here, but in the way that it actually happened, it was
Nimm diese Ausfahrt.
quite kind of funny because I was waiting. 'Cause I don't really want to ask Pavel for this opportunity because I felt kind of bad. Like I don't want to. Like I have a
Demnächst
relationship
links
with my
abbiegen.
family, so I don't want to feel like I'm using or anything
Yeah,
like
taking
that.
advantage. Right?
But so I waited until they asked me
Biege
to
nach
meet
links
first.
ab.
And it actually happened,
Clever,
right?
Clever.
And the wife of Pavel, she asked me to order something for her daughter. It was like this salt set, this like antique salt set. But it can only ship to the United States. So then I purchased that, and then I saw my opportunity. I said, you know, and I was talking to her like on the phone. It was nighttime for her. It was like 8 p.m. And I said to her, hey, is there any possibility we could set a meeting or something with Pavel that I could, you know, talk about if I could potentially have an internship? And they said, oh no, we can do it right now. So she clicked on FaceTime, and I said, oh my God, no. And she grabbed him out of his own personal office, put him on the couch, and I was staring directly at him.
I hope he was not in pajamas already.
No, he was on this t-shirt, yeah, as he always wears. But yeah, I was just staring at him, and he was staring right back at me. And we both looked like deer in the headlights. You know, we had no idea. Like, we had no idea.
Achtung, achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung.
FaceTime, and then she just said, "Oh, ask me," and I said, "Can I have a job?" You know, or something
Demnächst
like
rechts
that. And he had the
abbiegen.
biggest grin on his face, but he was so happy. He was so happy. But I actually think he's using
Biege nach
it
rechts ab.
company and this and that. But working here is awesome. Everyone here is super, super nice, you know. And it's kind of funny being this kind of loud Hispanic American, you know, and everyone else is here. But there's all other. There's some Mexican guys here. There's some Spanish
Raul.
people here. Yeah, Raul, yeah.
You've been on streams as well.
Oh yeah,
He's a cool guy.
super nice,
Yeah.
super nice guy, super nice guy. We talked a bit about a bunch of stuff.
So for how long are you here already?
I was supposed to be here for 5 weeks. It's my 4th week, so next week is my last week.
Last week.
Yeah. But it's been awesome. You know, every day working with the designers. I'm part of the
Game design team. I
game
heard.
design
Yeah.
team, yeah. So I've been working with them on some secret stuff.
Oh, don't spoil anything.
Ah,
man. Chad's gonna take you for your word. You know?
Demnächst
But
links abbiegen.
it's been really, really, really fun. And this is kind of like a little dream come true. And especially this, like, I'm not gonna lie, chat, this
Biege
thing
nach
we're doing,
links
like the
ab.
stream, this was planned.
Like yesterday.
Yeah, it was like
Day
yesterday.
before.
You know, he asked me like, do you want to do this, or we can do it next week? And I said, no, I've done theater before.
Yeah.
You know, I talk in front of people all the time.
I'm more like used to people getting nervous about coming into streams, so I was like, I wanted to provide you enough time to get ready for it, like mentally. But he was like, no, let's do it on Thursday.
100%. I'm mostly nervous with actually the driving. Like I want to make sure I'm not, making people angry with how I'm driving.
That's my job. That's my role here.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So anything that happens, just blame it on me.
Yeah, they do already,
Okay,
even if
perfect.
I'm not driving. So
That's great.
just a standard stream for them.
Rechts
This way.
halten. Dann bleiben Sie
And
immer
so,
geradeaus.
I wanted to ask, like, this whole internship, wasn't it just like
Immer
your
geradeaus.
idea purely out of your interest to, get an experience in a game industry company, or was it kind of a part of your school project that you guys at your university you have to go for internship in some companies over summer, or?
Well, to be honest, this actually does not qualify for what my school wants to do.
So you will have to do another one.
In a sense. So I go to SCAD. It's in Georgia, the state, not the country, and its requirements is it has to be paid. It has to be at least 10 weeks, so I don't need to do that. And if you're doing that, you actually have to pay for the requirements. You have to pay like $3,000 because it's technically like a class. It's like, you know, a requirement. So, but they have this cool thing called SCAD Pro. It's where you actually work with a company, and if you're selected or sometimes you can apply and they get you. So, and that also fills that role as well. So, I'm probably gonna do that because that's more beneficial.
Still this summer or?
No, like
Later.
next, or even during school. Technically, it's counted as a class.
So you can take it.
Yeah.
It's off.
Yeah. So we not 10 weeks off, it's just 10. It's something like the internship. It has to be 10 weeks, but for the SCAD Pro, it's the classes, so it's the full semester or trimester or quarter. Or
do you want to drive in day? You can't really see anything.
can we do that?
Yeah.
Are we like God or something? Oh my God! Who would have thought it? Chat. We're doing some sneaky tricks. Okay, good. Because I'm gonna be honest. I have my contacts, and I can't even tell. You know, I have my contacts in, and I can't even tell like some little UI there. So
Yeah, it's super hard to drive in the night on the street, especially with those lights pointing
oh yeah,
to your face. So
5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Right there, in my pupil. Oh my God.
I should have offered you a hat before the stream.
I'm happy. It's a good setup.
Am
So your
Kreisverkehr
university,
berät der
what kind
Ausfahrt
of university
nehmen.
it is? What field or subject do you study in? Which grade or level, or how you guys are calling the year?
So I'm in my second year. I can never remember.
Nimm diese
so it's freshman,
Ausfahrt.
and then the last one's senior, but it's so I can never remember that. Like
So
that's,
in total, it's like 5 years.
it's 4 years.
It's 4 years.
So there's freshman, and then junior, and then sophomore, and then senior. I think that's
Am
how it is.
Kreisverkehr erste
Right?
Ausfahrt nehmen.
Sophomore, right? Is that
Nimm
correct?
diese
Right?
Ausfahrt.
Anyone from the US?
Freshman,
Chat.
sophomore, junior. See, I got it.
Sophomore.
See,
okay.
there it is. Thank you.
So sophomore is before junior? I would kind of expect the other way around.
I don't know.
Freshman, junior, so okay, cool.
Giancarlo seems like a Fortnite type of.
Oh my god, and now we're driving off-road.
Am Kreisverkehr erste Ausfahrt nehmen.
Jet, we just testing the tires.
Oh yeah.
Nimm diese Ausfahrt. Am Kreisverkehr erste Ausfahrt nehmen. Nimm diese Ausfahrt. Immer geradeaus. Am Kreisverkehr zweite Ausfahrt nehmen. Nimm diese Ausfahrt. Immer geradeaus. Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung. Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung. Achtung, achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung. Achtung, achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung. Am Kreisverkehr zweite Ausfahrt nehmen. Nimm diese Ausfahrt. Am Kreisverkehr zweite Ausfahrt nehmen. Nimm diese Ausfahrt. Rechts halten und dann bleiben Sie immer geradeaus. Immer geradeaus. Kreisverkehr erste Ausfahrt nehmen. Nimm diese Ausfahrt. Biege nach links ab. Machen Sie eine Kehrtwende. Demnächst rechts abbiegen. Biege nach rechts ab. Demnächst rechts abbiegen. Wir sind da. Okay, wir fahren los. Demnächst rechts abbiegen. Biege nach rechts ab. Demnächst rechts abbiegen. Links halten und dann links abbiegen. Biege nach rechts ab. Demnächst rechts abbiegen. Demnächst rechts abbiegen. Links halten und dann links abbiegen. Links halten und dann links abbiegen. Biege nach rechts ab. Links halten und dann links abbiegen. 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 Links halten und Biege nach links ab. links ab. Achtung, achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung. Demnächst rechts abbiegen. Biege nach rechts ab. Achtung, achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung. Demnächst links abbiegen. Biege nach links ab. Biege nach links ab. Neu berechnen. Los. Route neu berechnen. Biege nach rechts ab. Biege nach rechts ab. Auf geht's.
Taking advantage, right?
But so I waited until they asked for a favor for me first, and it actually happened. And the wife, she asked me to order something for her daughter. It was like this salt set, this like antique salt set. But it can only ship to the United States. So then I purchased that, and I saw my opportunity. I said, you know, I was talking to her.
Fertig zum Losfahren.
It was like 8 p.m. And I said to her, hey, is there any possibility to put some meeting or something with Pavel that I could, internship? And they said, oh no, we can do it right now. She clicked on FaceTime, and I said, oh my God, no. And she grabbed him out of his own personal office, put him on the couch, and I was staring directly at him.
I would be what's up with
No, he was in his as he always wears. But yeah, I was just staring at him. He was staring right back at me. We looked like deer in the headlights. Because we had no idea. We had no idea what I was doing or why I was on FaceTime. And then she said, oh, ask me. And I said,
Biege nach links ab.
can I have a jump, or something like that? And he had the biggest grin on his face, but he was so happy. He was so happy. But I actually think he's using me so his son gets more company. Working with awesome. Everyone here is super, super nice, and it's kind of funny. Hispanic American, there's some Mexican guys here.
Achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung.
Last week.
Links rechts ab.
Them on some secret stuff. All those girls.
Biege nach rechts ab.
But it's been really, really, really fun. And this is kind of like a little thing through, especially this. Like, I'm not gonna lie, chat, this is kind of a video with the stream. This was the plan.
Achtung, achten Sie auf die
Yesterday I was like,
Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung.
yes, you know, yeah,
Achtung, achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung.
the theater before, and, you know, I talked to other people all the time.
Like used to people getting nervous about coming into stream, so I was like, I wanted to provide you enough time to get
Achtung,
ready for it.
achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung.
But he was like, no, let's do it for Thursday.
I'm mostly nervous is actually the driving. I want to make sure
Achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung.
Yeah, maybe just a standard stream for this way. And so, I wanted to ask, like,
Achtung, achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung. Achtung, achten Sie auf die Geschwindigkeitsbegrenzung.
So I go to DAF, Georgia,
Demnächst links
you pay at least 10 years to do that. And if you're doing that, you actually
biege nach links ab.
a requirement. So, but they have this whole thing called Scat Pro. It's where you actually go to the company, and if you're selected or someone can apply and they get you. So, and that also fills that role as well. So, I'm probably gonna do that because that's more beneficial.
Still this
No, or even going to
I don't know, so you can actually like take 10 weeks off and go for it.
So, I mean, that's only up to 10 full, it's just an absolute 10 weeks, but for the scan work, it's the natural requirement to report. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Are we like that? Oh my god, we can do it. Right here. Oh my god, I should have opened
So your university, what kind of university it is? What field or subject you study with? Which grade or level? Years. Oh my god, and now we're driving off-road.
See, that is because of the Fortnite question.
Chat, he's just testing the time. Watch out for the traffic.
I'm a Fortnite type of guy.
Are you?
I used to be when it was kind of good at the time and novel, and not really like this place where everybody is going to show up their new stuff. But you know,
What do you mean, Frankie, that I should get a point for this? Like, I'm not behind the wheel. See, that's what I'm talking about. They always blame me. Stuff that happens.
but you know,
Wir sind Haie angekommen.
Get it back.
and I plan to do my master's in Europe. So, kind of a cosmopolitan in some ways, but not really like a big cosmopolitan. But I'm excited for the future. And my school, SCAD itself, if you go to SCAD, it's art school. But art school, I think it's a very light set because it's more of a natural school. You only have 10 weeks to learn skills. You only have 3 classes max. So my next year, I'm learning game tech, VFX, and
VFX in 10 weeks.
yeah,
That's big.
exactly. Actually, the hardest one that really my butt was game art. So it was modeling. So we learned how to use Maya. We learned to use adding
10 weeks.
in 10 weeks Maya. It was also putting set assets into Unreal. So then I have this project that I'm really proud of. I made every single texture. I made all the models. I did all the lighting, all the post-processing, everything. And I did that in 2 weeks because that was the final project. So we had to allow everything to be done. It was like this environment. But it's kind of novel because how the SCAD system works because it just pushes you to something that you have no interest in. That's when you were programming. And I'm not programming at all, but it was the fundamentals. And, people argue that, so you just learn very rapidly, like you're not good at it. Well, you're supposed to be involved with people outside of class, If you just do your classes and that's it, then you're not going to really take advantage of the actual system.
I like this approach because like I do believe that the most you will learn in your free time basically in regards to any skill. But the way how the school is approaching it, do they expect or do they kind of try to spark an interest in people and they put you into this 10 weeks course for programming and then they hope that if you will find that you love programming that's gonna be the field you're gonna focus more on or is it like over the 3 or 4 years they're gonna do 10 weeks of this, 10 weeks of this, 10 weeks of this and then at the end you're supposed to kind of know fundamentals of everything but not be a master in any of that or?
Well, the way how it's supposed to be the first year, it's just fundamentals. So you do stuff like foundations of art, like painting, like hand drawing, like traditional painting.
Okay.
And then like also art history. You have to learn about, what does this art mean and what the crazy guy was thinking of and why he cut his ear off and all that stuff, And so that's the first year is just get into it, right? And the second year is you apply for your major and then the second year you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, that, you put in there, and send it to them. And then next year it's more involved in exactly what your major is doing and boom, boom, boom. And in the final year, you have to have like a magnum opus, like your final project. And it's always involved with something because the biggest industry in our school is film, animation, or like fashion, something like that. And they have these giant sets and you have to involve someone. So if you're a film student, you make a film. If you're an animating student, you make an animation. And if you're a student, you have to select kind of clip that you see that will actually help you in your journey and whatnot. And then you combine, factions and make a good product. And then they'll determine if it's good or not. But they take it very seriously. If you do procrastination or if you do plagiarism, you can be banned completely forever. 100%. You take it very seriously. Or like if you just copy and paste and use AI, even though really, but
so they don't encourage using AI nowadays.
They have a course for AI, which is kind of controversial, especially for art school. But it's a type of technology that people are interested in, and some people are interested in. So they're not going to deny that, and they're trying to keep that up. But they give you like boundaries, like you use AI for inspiration, this and that, and but you can't use it for the final or anything like that, like actual high class art. No. But
Interesting.
It's very interesting.
So from all the classes you taken so far, which one of them was kind of the most interesting for you?
Well, that involves my major and does not involve my major.
At all.
At all?
In all the classes. Like I'm trying to find out which of the fields are most probably, you know, the way you're gonna choose for your later life or future or career, or like where did you feel most hooked on, you know, or how to say it?
Well, the funny thing is, it's actually the programming class. And the thing is, I'm not a programmer at all. I don't understand it. I understand to a point where you're solving problems, and that's like a dopamine effect, like, oh my God, I'm solving problems, right? And it was just quite interesting because the